Korea time, 5 p.m. Monday, we're going to start an hour later. And then we'll get into Super League and playoffs. We go back to yeah, so I hope you guys will be happy with these changes. It's not, I think it's great. I think it's good for the players because, for the second match of the day, sometimes it'll be quite late. And these are waiting all day. This is good news.
I live at night. I'm in front of the streets, alright? So, you know. That's why it doesn't matter to me.
Not live, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. You're only a thing.
Oh, man. Yeah, you don't want to hold this back here.
No, no.
Like, he doesn't like thunder, but,
no.
He doesn't. Alright. I'm so nervous. Anyway, we want to talk about standing. Okay, we have two teams playing off today, and they are going to be struggling to stay afloat. Now let's talk about the standing so far. DOTA is still just cruising along, 0 map drops. Gen G is also doing quite well too. They're on the ground. Pretty exciting. DFM after their game yesterday, and DOTA they're already bottom. So we'll see.
Talon get 8-8. That's someone's going to drop out and today too. Talon's going to be swimming at the kitchen. And you're going to be the one sending them off the plane, right? No, you can't prove that. There's no evidence. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, today is really it's going to be the ultimate death match. Someone really gets over their dishes, and I don't know what's going to be. Well,
came from exactly, like, you know, it's totally supposed to be continued. I think there's slightly not doing so good right now. I'm saying like that, but I think overall this is just a little bit more kind of coordination of the talent right now.
We're going to talk about more about it. We're going to talk about yesterday. We had the showdown between the two Korean teams. Mike Garrett was in category and but the two Korean teams
That's a marketing terminology. Yuppies are basically human players.
Right? We get some stuff from really high up in the prediction.
This is just, I mean, to me it wasn't super surprising more than I thought, you know, a little bit better.
Gen G acquires Zeta Division.
Yeah, this is kind of what I expected. Those that work here for the Korean days, first of all, you miss out. Right now, you're seeing like these players only on TML combination of players teams now is you don't have to be honest with you, history so all of their offices are in yeah, the sunglasses. Whenever these tools need, I appreciate it.
I've seen Antisocial and we're right. Just like Talon today. The kids running through the ranks today. Now, yesterday we also had the Japanese team face off. We had Zeta and Detonation focus me. Not so much focus on the Detonation side. Zeta just look good, look strong.
They were really strong, let me tell you. You're going to have to watch that highlight in a second because I think just they were throwing off. Everyone was playing the same map. Everyone was playing the same composition. You guys have a great laugh about it. Not so much that. But yeah, Zeta come up with a big 10 to the first half on a set. And then you kind of won the pistol round after. A lot of times, a lot of that stuff, you have to set it up. That's still coming out of his mind. Stats on set. But he's kind of like, he only got those outside of that, he doesn't seem to have that same jump or agent that he had. That's what playing to us. I'd rather see them go back to some threes that are much better support player for their ELS as well. I think, I get why they wanted to try it. I think we all know that Solana is capable of great things. See it in his individual ability. He did play for basically a year in that hour. But the other side of the point, that was really coming back. Certainly, it is that I'm not some guy that will say, the Japanese fans, they call us for a long time. That's what the PSG is for. And I've been kind of standing for a while. I'm a big fan. He's a player that I think he's even. I can't look at it. Yes, it's, I have to look at it. Yeah. He's just too much. He's got Bruce here and but anyway, he's incredible. And I kind of wanted to see this, but not just going to look at Zeta. Last club, and he's godfather of Zeta, they're Japanese FPS. But I mean, these guys are insane. So hopefully they can take them.
Yeah. I'm really happy to see how it performed yesterday. You can see Marty Jackson and that's a really strong Sunday. I mean, we talked about what we were laughing about yesterday, and it was true that the team comps were near, at least 3 of the 4 games that we had yesterday. Near comps, the same map picks, and you guys perfectly yesterday. We don't have one team that's really stronger in many ways, and you have everything else the same. But exactly as you might think.
Something about this outfit. It's not magnetic.
Wait, what do you mean? This is
not really
what success looks like.
Hello Mumbai! सबसे पहले थैंक यू सो मच गाइस, आप सब लोग यहाँ पे आए, बहुत अच्छा लगा। कल रॉन्स्की का बर्थडे है, तो हम सोच रहे हैं उसको स्पेशल तरीके से विश करते हैं। क्या आप सब लोग सेंटर में आ सकते हैं? लेट्स शूट अ रील फॉर हिम।
So birthday release any ideas? क्या कर सकते हैं हम लोग बर्थडे के लिए? मैच चालू भी नहीं।
हमारी क्रिएटिविटी कहाँ है?
We need to do that. Cheer for Ronski. 3 claps.
ठीक है, बर्थडे डिफॉल्ट यार, मतलब कौन से किया है यार? एक चॉकलेट एक्स्ट्रा देता है करने। अरे एक आइडिया नहीं? Guys. Happy birthday. Nice. We will sing happy birthday.
We'll sing happy birthday.
Easy. Everyone knows this? Yes. Everyone knows this, right? Yes. Will it stay screen पे? नहीं ना? Okay. Okay, guys. Spira, do you want to take the lead?
Yeah, sure. In 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy
पहले जब हम लोग स्टार्ट करते ना तो सबका एनर्जी इधर रहता है, ये सब ऑकवर्डनेस रहता है ना, थोड़ा डर लगता है। तो इस बार वो ऑकवर्डनेस को घर भेज दो अभी जोर से, जैसा रॉक कॉन्सर्ट में तुम लोग गा रहे हो, ठीक है? हाँ क्या? Let's go! Okay, 3, 2, 1, go! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday dear Ronski! Happy birthday to you! Nice, too much of it.
चलो भाई तो अभी मैच शुरू होने वाला है। बस इतना कहूँगा, जब हम कोई राउंड जीतते हैं शोर बजाना, जी फाइटिंग। बट जब हम हारेंगे, क्योंकि अब कोई राउंड तो हारेंगे, तो ज्यादा शोर बजाना।
He's handsome, he's smart. How much did you do? His name is Aaron. He's great. He's amazing.
Great?
Yeah.
So he's like,
There's nothing wrong with him. Everything is perfect. He's perfect.
He's your guy. All right, he's your guy. And we got the camera.
I got Bruce. I mean, I'm not, my pockets aren't as deep as Clifton's, but this is what I have. I think he's doing a great job, especially in lock-in. And he's just doing everything. He's got good on his shoulders. He dances really well. And I think we can lead us in victory.
All right. Yeah, what's up? Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, Aaron.
Aaron?
Horizontal. Does he
Look,
have a lip rope?
it's not all about appearances for Aaron. He's got that.
He's pretty cool. Okay, next up, let's pick our
So you can't just say it's very close. But I was not saying anything. I mean, there's other things we're cleaning on the
That's true. You just can't.
And then you're going to turn straight. We can start with being honest.
All right, we're going to show he's ready. Houston's always ready. Let's go.
Oh, come on! I mean, this guy is the truth. He has lockdowns, he has side anchoring, he has first blood. This guy does everything right now. There's no doubt in my mind that's what he's doing.
And it is Monday here.
Monday too. Exactly. The last time we put on Monday, he actually just started to
Monday.
This is the Dr.
You picked this team, brother. This is on you.
All right, who are you presenting?
I got Pat as my controller.
Pat.
That
fun. You guys can use that flexibility to put in the way that wants, provided that, this is control, alright? So,
Okay.
talk about
That's why he's
that
up control.
a little later. So, yes,
Alright. We've got Pada in the second pick. Let's go to our third pick. I'm gonna leave it open. No, we don't want it. You don't make the rules for that. Okay?
That's right. You're the ball guy.
Alright, let's see what we have in Blue Esports. The wild card.
Ready? This is the spicy one.
Alright.
The rumors are that maybe, just maybe, we can get the Indian superstar himself. Alright? Rossi, I don't know what he's going to be playing, but I don't care. I don't want to see it. I want to see it.
Man.
Oh my God, everything's coming up.
Really? Okay. Let's see what your camera is. Let's see what your camera is. Mr. Quack.
Welcome.
Let's go. How do you camera is?
Not men.
First of all, contrary to his name, he actually doesn't like sushi. And that's how we know he truly is that wild. Like, personality.
That's okay. That's not right.
Second of all, he plays everything. I mean, he's normally on like the nation or he's central at times. But last week, he was a duelist and actually did pretty okay. And I'm pretty impressed by it. If he continues on his path of righteousness, maybe, just maybe.
Alright. How do you feel about Rossi being on this group?
I think that's a crock pot, and I think that's nonsense. I'm kidding. I mean, FPRT, we love him, he's great, but he hasn't been available for an hour. Come on, get that.
Alright, next pick, let's, this is how many players you have.
See, this is why I can't win this. I know. I'm winning those big right now.
Alright, show your card. You guys ready?
What do you guys do?
Well, you got 3 players.
I just want to know who I think is actually the best player on this team.
Ooh, alright.
This is hashtag no bias. Hashtag no bias. Overall, the best player on this team. Superstar, best player. This
What do you think?
I lost my own. Yes, he's throwing his a lot of different things. He was the IGL last week, you know. He was the IGL last year at the same time. First of all, I think he played Twitch. He was the first one and followed up this big stretch. And he tried it last year. He didn't do things. He actually tried one of our Icebox switch up the pace and a lot of things are going and that's why I think it's really exciting. Now we see him on an issue. We're talking about Gecko. He was the one who did that whole thing with Heyman, combining the field for his lockdown. So talk to him earlier. This one's tough. This one was tough. I mean, I have something to step up. I don't need it. I'm just trying to, I'm more dogging the platform. Okay, good. Ready? Last one. Sure. I have everything. I have 2 people
Alright, let's see for Baji and overall.
size of the
Okay, so we are going to feature some of the best comment responses, to some Quack, Talon
Red Bull gives you wings.
Welcome back to VCT Pacific. We are on week 4. I'm Victoria. With me, I have Quack and Paper Thin, and we're going to go into the last game of this weekend, Global Esports and Talon. Now, it's going to be the Dirty Derby today.
Oh,
Lightning Fast is playing today, and this is the roster and their giant roster of people. There is no SK Rossi.
It's Lightning Fast. That's really intriguing to me, because Lightning Fast generally is like Sentinel controller type player. So where exactly are they going to throw him in? What's the map going to look like? You know, that's some big questions for me. You know, I think everybody expected Rossi, but the Lightning Fast is kind of a curveball here. I'm pretty curious to see what GE's got cooked up.
I'm definitely curious as well, because like you said, he is that sort of more supportive player, maybe a Sentinel if anything. So that means they're going to have to sub someone out. They're going to have to maybe swap things around. Meanwhile, on the other side, this is exactly what it is exactly
this
what
is
I
what
predicted.
you picked. Yeah.
It's your team for today.
200 IQ.
Wow.
Where?
Well, only
I'm
if they win.
curious.
Only if they win.
Only if they win. Then you're.
Yes. You want them to win too. But yes, that's right.
I do.
I mean, this comes down to how they really strategize around this, because like we were talking about earlier, Clinton, last week's picks were actually serious.
Yes. So yes, I have some secret info. That's why
Please
I was wearing
give
the
me your
sunglasses
Scrimbucks.
as well. Yes, I have word on the streets, as I am. You can tell with the way that I was dressed earlier. I'm absolutely
one
a
with
man
the
of the
streets,
streets. Yes. that triple duelist comp was the real deal. That was them trying, not just trying something, but something that had been successful for them in
That's
scrims.
cap.
I don't know. That's what I heard. So, and maybe I'm being, you know, bamboozled. Maybe I shouldn't believe my informants, but in this case, I took their word for it.
Actually, yeah, I'm inclined to believe you because you have proven me right so far, and that's really interesting because then it comes down to like, how did that really work in scrims? And maybe it didn't work against DRX, but could it work against another team? That's what I'm worried about here.
Yeah, so to lay it out really bluntly right now, these two teams are at the very bottom of the ladder. Now, we love these teams. We all love Talon and Global Esports, but the fact of the matter is, despite, you know, Global Esports was performing really well, even though it was a lot of 3 games of losses, but they performed really well against DRX, and I assume this is one of the many reasons why you are predicting a win for Global Esports today.
Yeah, I think just in general, they've had a few more impressive maps than Talon. Talon has had some really good maps here. They've obviously won one against Team Secret. Like, they're playing very good at times. Like, but it seems like they're getting worse as time goes on. But that means also it could be that time where Talon just kind of figures it out and all of a sudden takes off on a rocket ship. But for both of these teams, they have to win today, right? Like, this is a do or die almost. I don't know what the exact math is if you lose, like if you're 0-4, if you join DFM at the bottom, if that means you're just done, basically, or if you can win 3 in a row and then, you know, figure it out. I don't know, but it feels do or die for sure for both teams.
Yeah.
Well, quickly for myself, you've said it multiple times. Whenever you don't believe in Talon, that's when Talon gets really upset and they're like, I'm going to prove Paper Thin wrong.
I don't think it has anything to do with me. I just
So
think they're good players.
I feel like, no, they are great and they've got the potential, and I think today's going to be the day. Is that your opinion?
I think so. This is going to be that day. Surely it's the day because they've been struggling. They did really well last year. I think they got it today.
Well, we're going to find out in today's final matchup of this weekend of Week 4. Like you said, it's do or die. Let's go to the stage, watch their walkouts for the ultimate Southeast Asian deathmatch. Ladies and gentlemen, this is VCT Pacific. The stakes are high with 2 Southeast Asian teams facing off. We have India's Global Esports and Thailand's Talon.
I'm excited for Lightning Fast debut. It's a really, you know, interesting pick. A guy who's kind of been playing it. I suspect double control, I guess, so that means what map is to be the first one. Icebox, Lotus, Split, like those are kind of the ones who are more likely, maybe Parel, to see double control versus others. Is he going to be playing on Harbor potentially or something like that? Astro or Viper as well are definitely in the mix. So really curious. Lightning Fast is kind of like my big point of it. He's the unknown. What's going to happen?
All eyes are on him.
I think whatever it is, today's matchup is going to be so different than yesterday because both of these teams play completely different than how the Korean or Japanese teams do. I think we can expect to see maps that we haven't seen much in the rotation at Pacific. That's what I'm hoping anyway, including team comps. I mean, Talon is the one who had a triple duelist comp last week, which was crazy. And also the same team and only team who showed up together.
Yeah, spirits are high to say the least, and yes, they do have some interesting comps for sure. A lot of new things to experiment with, and maybe experimentation has been done because today is, like you mentioned, do or die. Boys here as their assistant coach as well from the West. So I think Talon has been cooking up some secret recipes behind our backs. Global, we've seen how they perform. They are pretty good. They're going to just have to clash against each other.
I'm surprised with
we know he can frag, but his utility on the stage, how does that work out? His timings, right? And just quick on his feet. Sometimes he's going to have to make his own decisions.
All right, well, the gates have opened. And for now, Talon just going to be sending a couple people creeping here into B Garage. One yet playing on the site. So they definitely to also keep our eyes on, given what he was able to do the last time that they played on this split map.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what a monster. And then also to point out on the side of Talon, I mean, not only, of course, are they straying away from the triple entry, but a little bit of, you know, an agent swap as well, right? Last time it was Pat playing on that Astra, I believe. Didn't show as much comfort with the utility, but Cruz going back to the controllers.
I don't count that game. As far as I'm concerned, Pat has never played Astra.
Yeah, that was just in our dreams. So he's just going to be playing that KO, something that he should be a little bit more self-sufficient with.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a lot more suited to him, especially as a player who's coming back after a long time away. Putting him on something like an Astra where it's very micro-focused, definitely a bit out there. For now, Boombot, just to try to check, see if there's still that presence here in mid.
Now, on the side of Global Esports, I mean, they've just confirmed that no one's really pushed in towards B. They haven't shown as much control over mid yet, and the way they're checking, first they body check, then they use your utility to confirm. They bought so much time, and now they know that as long as Monyet can just stay alive, that they can go for this retake over on B.
Oh, Grabwell goes to grab one.
And he's still alive.
The lock-in, but I mean, Garden's not paying attention as Monyet. Oh, he's doing it again.
Oh, no.
Consistency from this guy, I think widely we have, so
yes.
Hell of a way to kick things off. Let's see how he fares now in the anti-eco. Just a couple taps on the ropes over towards A Heaven. Just keep interest pushed over towards that side of the map. A nice bite though. Will connect and put a bit of damage down onto Cruz and locking off Mail for now.
And this is something we saw when Global Esports was playing against DRX as well, is just the way that they play the map of Split, despite its tight quarters, the way they're using their utility to buy time and cycle through all of that. Once again, I mean, this paint shells, he's gonna buy so much time again, and he gets two!
And he's got another one. He's got the reset, he's throwing it right into Mail. He's gonna force them forward, split them apart.
Oh, they're stuck here.
Yeah, Bazzi picking up one, the blast pack, connecting for a little bit of extra damage. I thought he had it for a second, it was Monyet taking down Foxy. But there you have it, a flawless follow-up in the anti-eco. A fantastic start to the defending
ready to go.
And a little bit of a default setup change here for the first couple rounds, right? I mean, last time we saw Monyet heavily focusing on B and or mid to shut down the entire map, but now, I mean, just in that second round, we actually saw him with a neat little setup to block off vents over on A Heaven. Now he's focusing on vents as well as being ready to provide support over on A, and that allows Aaron to now constantly switch up his setups as well, providing some support on that B side with the one-ways, where Talon now they'll always have to approach first to figure out what the default is before they can actually make up their mind.
Fox swinging around the side of that Nebula, able to get line of sight. Does get a nice little headshot in. Sushi Boy's gonna be down to 5 HP. Bazzi will trade one back and now locates the spike. He's got the read. Does he want to send a flash down or just get tucked away? It looks like it's going to be the latter. Meanwhile, pushing his way downstairs over towards that defender's spawn, and very much leaves Aaron in a vulnerable position as the Boombot is not going to check this spot. Nice pop flash into the corner. Bazzi, no hope in hell. Very nicely timed there from Talon.
Yep, and Aaron going to get spotted as well. So, I mean, a great setup from Fox as well, flanking all the way around. And also, we got to give credit where credit is due, of course, Pat and Garnett's not taking any chances, right? They recognize that if you're not up front, then you've got to be hidden behind because you saw the spike drop. So, a good recovery, not the end of the world, but of course. Oh, wow, yeah, just through the smoke, just a little spam. But on top of that, we have to remember, you know, for Global Esports, sure, you didn't do as much damage as you would want to the enemies, but you also had so much banged up.
Yeah, exactly. So they're going to be more than fine going into the next. Let's see. Been buying down. Losing this one would be obviously the most costly for them, but equal weaponry now in hand.
And Cosmic Divide online for Monyet. So I suspect, yeah, without the early aggression on A side, soon enough Aaron should make the decision to kind of back off and just hold on to Heaven alongside Batsy, and that would allow them to at least control enough space where they can get an easy retake with the Cosmic Divide.
Fox trying it again. They identify roughly where he's at, and one segment of the wall going to be broken down. That's going to be the Trailblazer now let loose, quickly dealt with. Meanwhile, everybody else from Talon not pressuring over towards B, which will be called out, and now they can very much start to suspect that this is going to end up being an A hit.
And because of that, they're actually lining up. They're giving up Heaven because at a certain point with the timer, the way it is, Talon is going to have to get through to the site first. So they're trying to use this toxic screen to their advantage where they can set up a crossfire. They even have backup coming in the form of Lightning Fast as well.
Aaron avoiding that, and he just cuts down two. We're watching the wrong man. Show me his POV.
And Aaron's still alive.
Able to find one. He gets a third. Bazzi swings out back sight, and only Lightning Fast going to be
Esports was being called this team the best team to never win yet here in the VCT leagues across the world.
Has been true. Has very much been true. And I think that you'd have to be a fool to say otherwise, just given what they have been able to show us. Texture now. Does he want to swing off this? He does. No one there to see. Goes for it again. Take a little bit of damage there from that Sheriff, and wisely will back away. Bazzi in the meantime, top ramp swings, and that Sushi Boy's taken out.
And this is where Batsy has been so good for this team of Global Esports. He may not be getting the most frags every time, but his utility to support and then always be prepared for these crossfires. And we've been seeing this more and more as Sky has been kind of taking hold as this main initiator for a lot of teams where you can provide support in so many different ways. You've got flashes, you've got intel, and then you can hold different angles with your flashes to provide crossfires. I mean, you're one of the best ways to be that kind of second line of entry or defense.
Been great with it, and I mean, I keep referencing this interview from back when he had first transitioned over into playing this initiator instead, as I'll hold my thought. The rocket, inevitably, Lightning Fast cannot get away from that one. Swing over towards the garage, and oh, the third shot is the charm. Catches Aaron in the head, and suddenly Talon on pace to go ahead and turn this into a thrifty.
Yeah, and with the weapons picked up as well, this is going to give them a good chance to bounce back, right? They're not going to always have to fight from behind. Global Esports, they are going to try for this.
I heard the drop, though, but Garnett's with a 4K will go ahead, bring them over the finish line. So a second round win for Talon, and a thrifty to boot. Very nicely done by them, given how, you know, losing your Viper nice and early in the round doesn't feel great. Really good way to bounce back. I was gonna say, Bazzi, having played Duelist, knows how to set up as an initiator for his for the rest of his teammates. So while Texture might not be playing Duelist right now in this map, he knows how to set somebody up.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the big benefits there. And obviously, we've seen that work for teams like DRX here in Pacific, where you take all these Jet mains and then you turn them into these other roles that know how the Jet wants to play. We're kind of seeing that in the works right now for Global Esports as well.
Being a Jet man is just the first stage of evolution. You have so much more you can offer. As what is this sheriffing? Texture and Lightning Fast just cracking skulls as Texture will get a second.
I mean, sure, you had 3 people lined up, so the one's a but still. Well, it was a nice jiggle, Pete, but it's still the judge that you're up against at that range. There's no reason to put that. Okay. Well,
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Starts with some sheriffs and ends with a classic, and it's a back-to-back first
If you have a bunch of jet mates, that means their aim has to be crisp to a certain level, right? So you already start with that fundamental. Now you just have to kind of build them into these other modes of utility and understand each other, the comms. But if that can happen, if you can make that chemistry work, you have a certain team in the making.
Yeah. Well, a decent enough start here for the side of Global. Timeout called by Talon. So it has to say, the team to try to right the ship. Obviously, playing standard this time around. No triple duels. Whether or not it was serious, I think is still down yet to be revealed. I'm going to tell myself it wasn't serious, just as a coping mechanism. But
all fair. I mean, you know what? As a Yoru fan, I do see the potential in that.
Oh yes, because it was the best display of Yoru we could have ever had. We were joking in the green room before the broadcast had started that it was going to be Global running a triple duelist.
Yeah.
Lightning Fast come and play Raze, Texture play Jet, and then Bazzi go back to playing Yoru, something that he did a hell of a lot of last year.
That's true. I mean, he was one of the first ones to show it over here in Korea with the Yoru operator once we saw kind of the downfall of Jet for a little bit with some of her nerfs last year, but of course, Jet now in full power. Of course, Raze kind of the preferred duelist for a lot of teams here on Split.
If you're going to be running solo, seems like Raze is the play. Star going to be set up here at the edge of the garage just in case the push starts coming in, try to grab well and slow up the entries. Guardians with double blast pack, however, obviously skip over that. And Texture is not in a position to get a slow orb in this as well.
Yeah, but I mean, the position definitely looks like they're just focused on keeping mid, right? Make sure that we're not caught off guard by any sort of lurks, any sort of these hidden plays, because you're just controlling A heaven, you're just controlling mid. You just want sight on B, and then you're going to rely on that Cosmic Divide to go for this retake. You even have the res from Texture, like you mentioned. I mean, that allows you to be a little more aggressive with the retake as well.
Garnets does get slowed up a bit, but Cosmic Divide going to be cutting a lot of this audio. Push in, oh, the full blind Lightning Fast, he sprays it, it gets past! What is that?
The confidence from Lightning Fast just to trust that he's going to get someone.
Well, Sushi Boy's spike now planted, but he gets immediately destroyed. Lightning Fast with the showstopper.
He does catch him right at the end, but he was still in fine position there.
I mean, by the time he saw him, the guy was already dead.
Yeah.
He was just happening to hit that spray perfectly. And immediately up over the top, finds the Viper. It's a great way to just drop that pin quickly. Ensure for the clean retake, and you can hear they are fired up right now.
I mean, you're playing your debut match. You've been waiting to come here, join your team in Seoul, South Korea. Now you're given your chance and you're popping off. What a better, there's no better way to start your career here at VCT Pacific.
Yeah. I mean, you can't imagine, how the hunger, really, sitting back at home waiting for that passport to arrive so that you can finally fly out, join in with the rest of your team, and then get prepped to play. Double drop here. Vent Garnets and Fox just checking things out. So it's forward hold. Ends up getting caught. Bubot actually does not spot one yet, but not moving towards him. They're shifting away. However, he's nearby. When he wants to strike, this could be monstrous. For now, Money Yet going to be nullified. Suppress coming in. The Seeker finds him, and he just rushes in for the kill. He finds the second. Money Yet is an absolute god. He cannot be slain.
I mean, that's already so much damage done, right? You have to spend time for the res. Of course, now Batsy, the only one left alive, but he's correctly Unless he wants to go over to B.
That's going to be looking for it. Nathan check close and stairs. Plant coming down. And this is, I'd say, new H default. He starts inching his way forward. Spots one. Close there. Up on top of the Raptors, however, his Pats will be able to shut him down. We'll just go ahead back and forth, bring some blows. Talon keeping it close.
Yeah, I mean, Monyet, right there when he was trying to get the flank, he chooses to run right as the Seekers pop. So the Seekers plus the no command, he did that kind of noise against them. And he gets the second one as well, which was a really impressive part. But unfortunately, of course, I think Garnett's actually being caught there, baits Batsy into thinking that it's going to be a different position. He doesn't even think about checking over on the Raptors, and Pat will clean that round up.
Still, though, costly. Talon, at the very least for Global here, they have not allowed for Talon to really build up much bank. Small just Fox with 2,500. The most well off. Flash out to mid, really heavy presence against that to check forward there from Global.
Yeah, they do this about halfway through their defending half every time we've seen them so far. Now, they did not see the spike, so they just confirmed that there was no mid presence, so not too much info gained. That allows them to also just safely default back in position. But once again, the setup is, let's just keep mid control, right? I mean, you have the support potentially from both Monyet and Batsy to make sure Lightning Fast can get out alive over through B Heaven if need be. Oh, they're gonna try to pinch.
Oh, that flash does not connect. Garnett's shifting away, but his crosshair placement off as he tries to go for the reswing. Cat will be able to find Monyet, but then Bazzi picks up a second, and that's gonna be the spike location now confirmed. He's chasing in. Fox is here, has recovered it. Meantime, well aware about this flank coming from Heaven.
Yeah, they know where all three members are. The Seekers all died in different positions.
Swings in. Now they know that Bazzi is backside. He's able to stabilize Minds one. It's going gravity well.
With
out of it. Flash for Flash, but he's got the jump. Bazzi with 4. He's now to 1 and
Force allowed 6 and 3. Goal. Beginner lead. Release some pressure. Yeah, I think look at the way they move around and that. They actually push out into the garage there. Right to the fast and first and third was people in. This asset pricing of the 50 minutes of the game. How they want to reach this goal, so they have to let him out of the on the map. But they way better read and flow.
Talon is just so good, and this is something that we've been praising Global Esports and especially Aaron about for his calling.
Okay, pit down. I was wondering whether it was going to be invested in this round or in the future, but they say, we're not taking any chances. We already got thriftied once. Just go ahead and pop it now. And I mean, Monyet, something about him and just sprang into mid. He just continues to find kills. The third one for him. Cruz will be able to limp away, it seems. He's looking to re-aggress. He's getting across the sewer.
What I love that whenever they do this, where Monyet who aggresses, not the Viper. But Aaron's gonna finish it off. Great individual plays as well from the likes of Lightning Fast.
That's great. Rifling. And it's a good point. Hadn't really even considered that we just haven't seen any ops at all. Oh, he hits his head on the beam.
Yeah, Flash does well, so I think just kind of throwing him off just a bit. Has to use the showstopper to check close.
Yeah, that'll give you a concussion. Now Flash through. They'll find the site is widely empty at the moment, but Global members not too far off. Dog for dog close up here. We'll go ahead and back away as the spike gets planted.
Now, of course, that counter Trailblazer does mean that Batsy gets to keep control of Alley. That doesn't allow Talon to push off of it. So now they are going to have to just fill the site. Now, the question is, do they go for a bit of a flank here through mid?
It's an answering Cosmic Divide. It cuts the site in half horizontally.
they're positioned to cut off anyone from B main as well.
Garnet still went into smoke. Do they read this? Fox going to be taken down, and they will eventually flush him out. Pat able to answer back one, but this leaves suddenly Sushi Boys all on his lonesome on the opposite side of the Cosmic Divide. There's just nothing to be done. An 8th round snatched up, and he won't even be able to hold on to the weapon.
We always knew that, you know, he had some good experience on it and he had proven himself to a certain amount, but the fact that he's improving every match they played here week to week in VCT Pacific means that he's really growing up to be a very formidable IGL.
Yeah, I mean, already we knew, especially defending side, that he is very well versed in that regard. We'll see how that continues as we shift over. And we finally do have an operator. Texture's got one in hand, and he's putting it to good use immediately. Sushi Boy's going to be taken down.
If there's anything that you can really count on Texture for, no matter the situation, it's going to be his opping. And, I mean, even though you suspect that he's on top of the wall, what can you do when he's got the better angle with the operator?
Okay, good hold. Jiggling back and forth, eventually decides to just hold the angle, finds Bazzi as well. And I was going to mention, like, the last time that Sushi Boys died first, GE lost the round. We'll see if that happens again.
They're primed a little bit better than they have, and of course the res finally coming through. Going to be able to cycle out that weapon as well for Texture if he wants to switch to a rifle, and Aaron starting things off with another kill.
Oh, seeing Aaron, Aaron wants to push the issue, but this overswing, there's no one coming out of Raptors to find that punish, but in the end it won't matter. Lightning
Yeah, it was going to be very, very
Well, speaking of records, I mean, let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room right now as we go into the pistol round. It's global.
Yeah,
it's global esports. Their pistol win rate from lock-in till now is absolutely superb.
It's incredible. Yeah, if you include Lock-in, by far the strongest pistol team here in Pacific. See if they can do it on the attacking side. The setup right now, again, it's just to watch out for any sort of pushes over from Talon. I mean, literally both, and all across the map, they're waiting for pushes over in mid. They're also trying to bait out the utility use from Talon while not getting spotted by it. I love the way they're doing this. Eren, the only one getting spotted by that 0 point over on A.
Slow and steady to start things off. Just as an update, prior to this map, 10-6 in Pacific, and then if you add the 6 pistol round wins from Lock-In on top of that, 16-6.
16-6 is a ridiculous stat for just pistol rounds.
Yes. So, quite good. And compare that to Talon's without Lock-In stats, 4-10. So you're looking at a 10-6 versus a 4-10.
Yeah, it just flipped on its head, really. I mean, that just shows the dominance that Global has had. And the setup is good once again. I mean, because they got no information, Talon was actually so scared to push out. Of course, they're playing on their back foot as well. Now, that guiding light, thankfully, buys just enough time for Baxi to arrive. Sushi Boys, he needs to stay alive here. Just hold on to Vents. That's all you need to do.
Lightning bow. Oh! Okay.
Bit of a mishap. Now, if that happened in the very first round, we could say, all right, first time Jitters on the stage, but he was playing so well in the first half.
There's not much excuse for that one, but we'll see if the rest of the team can go ahead and make up for it. Texture going to boost over top of the wall. Garnet's waiting nearby. He thinks about the paint shield, decides to wait. Jump out, will get tagged down to 2. They're running out of time. They have to get this plant down. Cruz for the final elimination. Garnet's going to be taking up 2 more for himself. And in the end, seems like a bit of an overcook here from the side of Global. They go ahead and they drop the first pistol in the series.
Yeah, I mean, losing your Raze in a mishap like that obviously hurts, especially in a single list on a map like Split. Not many other ways that you can get through. Goes just a little too far forward. I think his paint shows he intended it to really land back at the door, and it just kind of lands on the box there, so he gets caught off guard.
I think he was willing to eat the damage. The problem was the vulnerable that he took from the snake bite.
Yes, that's what it was.
So he took way more damage than he was anticipating.
Yeah, that's got to be it, because he was right at the edge there. Well, we're just going to have to shake that off. Now, of course, just going to save full here on the second round of their attacking half, going with all classics.
Again, heavy presence here in mid. Just Texture splitting off over towards Garage, seeing if there's any forward aggression on that side of the map. Boombot let loose by Garnet. Just let Lightning Fast clear it. Start drifting over. Pings are coming down, and no one is occupying the side itself, but there's 3 members nearby, all up in heaven.
Now, they don't have a Sage Wall either, right? So they're just going to have to rely on nothing, actually, because we don't have any stars ready for Monyet. I was going to say the single star for Monyet, but it's not going to happen. They're just going to have to creep in.
Starting to walk across, takes a couple attempts, but Sushi Boys will find 2 kills in the end. Gets himself a 3rd as well. They can get this plant, but then spike out in the open. Tucked away here on the side is Eren, and he gets both of them in the head. Sets up for Bazzi to do at least a bit of damage, but tagged down to 36. Cruz now being reinforced by Fox up in the Raptors. Yeah, that will be the closeout. So a singular kill found here in the eco round from Global. Talon, they pick up 2 in a row for the first time. And, they're getting off the ground.
Yes, and, we talked about how, obviously, it was going to be so tough if they didn't win the pistol. But now that you've won the pistol and the continuing round, the anti-eco, that means that you're actually in okay position here on Split, right? If you can just continue and make sure that Global Esports has to actually work for their attacking side, then you should be able to at least buy enough time to get somewhere to a scoreline like a 9-10 or, 11-9, something like that.
Brief flip to Bazzi's stats, having a not fully silent carry performance, but his impact definitely being felt. 17 kills is what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, he's been fragging out. I mean, we were talking about this before the match started, where Bazzi, sometimes he's not the fragger, but his flashes are so good. Today, the frags are on top as well.
Oh, the real scene. Bin gets a couple taps. They are able to exit.
Well, Lightning Fast, very thankful that it's a Bulldog on the other side.
Narrowly surviving, but not really able to inch their way forward onto that site. Let's see where they decide to end up now. Just really creep up. Moves up, and I mean, this mid position, fence widely abandoned. Turns from the flash. Looks like he will just go ahead and get situated, tucked away by himself, while the rest of the team can just go ahead and get stacked up over here at A main.
Yeah, now usually this setup would allow you to rotate to B if need be after taking control of Heaven, but with the timer at 30 seconds, they're actually going to have to commit just one way or the other. You can't dilly-dally up here in Heaven. Now that Snakebite's going to buy enough time where they can't possibly rotate.
It helps slow things up and spray through the wall. Texture will be able to find Sushi Boys. Now that'll drop. But yeah, they need to try to make something happen here pretty quick. Lightning Fast getting tagged up mid-air. Pat able to find Aaron. Coming into the back of sight. Does end up being evacuated. And now they can go ahead and get this plant down as Bazzi looks to offer up some healing to the rest of his teammates. Everybody back to 100.
Well, they are all stuck, though. They're going to have to scurry away. Garnett's with the judge. He wants to take control of Elbow, and he's good for two!
Oh my God! Garnett's off the top rope. Able to find two. Bazzi now last man standing, and he's good for it. Bazzi, what did you eat today? A triple kill to clutch it.
He's fine with it, but the content of it might have changed now that the Seekers are online. So even though you only have one hero rifle, you're actually going to put it on Lightning Fast. If you're going to put it on your entry, this has to be a rush in, right? I mean, you're just relying on him getting a kill. Even if he gets traded, someone else picks it up, and they can continue that phantom forward.
But look at where their money is at. This is like inverse Carmine Corp. They have so much money. They're not even buying down towards a reasonable degree.
Oh, Lightning Fast not able to dodge that one, but he gets covered.
The covering fire is there from Texture, and then he gets the blind off just in time for Sushi Boys to push the wall.
Lightning Fast and surviving full flash is name a better combo because he's doing it constantly.
I don't know how he's getting away with it, but he absolutely should not be. The covering fire is perfect from Texture, and you know, talking about how little they bought, and now I'm thinking about how big their bank account's going to be after this one.
I mean, yeah, this is one of those ways where they can say, no matter what ults they get, we're going to get match point first, no matter what. And Monyet already on the flank, on that little screen on our right.
And they are not necessarily reading this.
So
take him down, and Monyet swings out the bind box, and there you go.
Especially when how fast those men adjust from going back to I feel just like hard to find as many trains as possible and shooting to the left line and not pick up by someone else. But they're playing great. I know it's actually great. But I mean, that's how it's start. So,
by a bunch of dudes with classics. They weren't even buying down sheriffs, you know, buying to 2100, buying to 1800 to 1600.
Yeah, which they had the money for, yes.
They just were like, no, buying nothing. And it worked.
Oh boy. Well, somebody send this VOD over to our favorite egg and perhaps our team over there in EMEA as well, because lessons to be learned here. Oh, Foxy. The way they set up their crossfires and baits, right? They know that if they're not going to be tagged, someone has to push out on the side of Talon. They have no other way of continuing to gain information. Now, the pin is a desperation move just to buy time.
Yeah, he's going to throw this in. Does not have a judge to try to hold it with, just the stinger. But, I mean, they could just say, screw it, reroute, go through mid, cut over towards B site.
They know where he is, too, because of the Trailblazer. And the fact that the Trailblazer was used right away allows them to get into Heaven, right? That means that they don't have to worry about him holding close with something like a judge.
But I mean, he's just kind of contained. Now has to abandon the pit. That'll get dropped in a moment. Yep, can't get back in there in time. It does go down, and I mean, this tells him exactly where he is. They know he has to be ramped now.
Yeah, because he didn't come back into sight, that's for sure. And now Vents has been taken as well. Oh, Sushi Boys does win the fight against Texture. A little bit of hope.
Catching him on the opposite side of that wall.
The rifle is still in favor of Global Esports.
Do a 4v4. Lightning Fast tucked away here. Pings out, knows that somebody's playing up top, and Pat doing his damnedest to try to flash himself in through that back elbow, but in the end will fall. Garnets with 2, Cruz with 1. Suddenly it's all on one yet. To try to finish things off, he's going for a reload! And the Sushi Boys will take him down. And it's another just unexpected turnaround here with Talon being able to close out the round. They're denying that match point away. 1 second exactly remaining on the spike. This one just slipping out of Global's hands.
Yeah, but guess what? They didn't buy anything in the previous round, so they still have about 2 rounds worth of creds here that they can full buy coming into the next one. So not too concerned, but it is important to mention that, again, there is a big difference between match point and just being at 11, right? Because match point at least guarantees overtime. You can be a little bit more lax with what you want to go through in the future rounds. Whereas 11, at a certain point, you're going to feel the pressure of, okay, we got to take some risks to secure that match point.
This half. It's been bizarre. And I mean, look at their money. They're still fine.
Yes.
GE is still so well off. Absolutely, absolute insanity. The Sushi Boys can be driven forward, takes a little bit of damage from the paint shells. Trailblazer, yep, it identifies and gets the fight as well, and Lightning Fast pushes up to find the kill.
Yeah, there is going to be good cover and trades from Pat, though, but that does mean they still lost their Viper, right? So a crucial agent in terms of simply buying time in a certain section of the map.
But Sushi Boys dying first.
Statistically, that does lead to some wins here for Talon.
It's looking good.
The win conditions have been met. We're on course for another victory.
Just that sacrificial lamb. Aaron now going to be tucked away. 2 people getting ready to push in. Do they read this? Oh, well, looks like the answer's going to be yes, but Aaron doesn't suspect there's a second.
Yeah, I mean, Pat, you know, trading in mid, trading in A, he's doing the most he can.
Oh, boy.
Oh!
How does Munyan win that? Well, the man's pushing out. He jumps over the showstopper! Exactly where Pat's at. He's going to try to flash for himself, swings in, will get 1. But at the end, it's a team ace as Bazzi finishes the job and brings it really funny.
Wow, I mean...
And if I'm Garnets, I'm pissed.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that is something that tilts you even just a little bit, no matter what position you're in. And here's the thing. If they were barely scraping by wins, maybe we joke about, okay, the heroics are coming into play. But the thing is, even without that, they've had such a good lead. And on top of that, this is just salt in the wounds.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Well, another stinger here in the hand. Sushi Boys. Just flush out any kind of vent pressure.
Yeah, and I mean, you have Cruz at 1 point away from the Cosmic Divide, but they don't have the firepower to confidently push out, secure a part of the map, and then secure the ultimate orbs. I mean, you look at the map, they're playing so far back as if they have the perfect retake set up, but they don't. I mean, they have the null command, but the way they're positioned, I mean, they're flooding A site, they have a member in B site. You're just trying to hope that you win your duels when the entry happens on the side of Global Esports.
There.
Slowed down, 40 seconds remaining. Wall, just a cut off fence. They'll start storming their way in towards heaven. Lightning Fast getting cut off, everybody backing away from the paint shells. Damage really taken. See if they can get themselves in here. Oh, the vulnerable is out. Garnet's able to deal with Lightning Fast quite quickly. Last pack as well takes Aaron down to a sliver of HP. The second one intercepted by Texture, but Aaron, despite having 3 HP, managing to find a kill.
They know where he is. Oh!
Pat now needs to win it out, and he cannot. Monyet is the last man standing, will find a third kill to go jumping over the showstopper, the spray downs in mid through the Viper's pit. Guy was having a whale of a time, but Bazzi as well. I mean, there was not really a weak link, it seemed like, in this iteration of Global on this map. Everybody looked absolutely drilled. Aaron, widely, his reads were fantastic. I think aside from lightning fast, jumping into his own nade while being vulnerable from a Viper's fight, that's kind of the only big mistake that we had seen. And for a guy making his debut in Pacific for the first time after not being here until a week ago, I think he played incredibly well.
Oh, absolutely. We got to give him huge props. But I like that you mentioned that there was not a single weak link, right? Even though, sure, Aaron may not have been, dragging out because he doesn't... I've seen it several times from Talon. Of course, the last time they finally picked up the Harbor composition, they were trying to make it work for themselves. They did get a victory, even though I would say not off the back of the Harbor utility.
Yeah, well, it's time to, we'll see how all that goes. But it's time to go to a commercial break, and then the desk is going to break everything down. I won't spoil what's going on, but there might be some movement on stage. I'll leave you with that. We'll see you guys after the break.
Over on B.
Oh, Rebel goes to
he's still alive.
But I mean, Garden's not paying attention as much yet. Oh, he's doing it again.
Oh, no!
On 4K.
I mean, this paint shells. He's going to buy so much time again, and he gets 2.
Does get a nice little headshot in. Sushi Boy's going to be down here.
Going to get spotted as
POV.
And Aaron's still alive.
Swing over towards the cross.
This
audio. Push in. Oh, the full blind lightning. Takes him down. Will fall to cruise over the garage. Just find it. Suppress coming in. The Seeker finds him. And he just rushes in for the kill.
Oh, my God.
Crosshair placement off as he tries to go for the cruise. We already got thrifty once. Just go ahead and pop it now. And I mean,
but yet who aggressive, not the Viper. And Aaron's got a
Holtby died first. Over swing. There's no one coming out of Raptors 2. They're running out of time. They have to get a flank. Walk across. Takes a couple of attempts. They'll find 2 kills in the end. Yep, they need to try to make something happen here pretty quick. Lightning Fast getting tagged.
The judge, he wants to take control of the elbow, and he's good for
two. Cruz with 1.
Okay.
You're watching VCT Pacific, and we just completed Map 1, and we can see why Global Esports made DRX sweat just a bit on this map 2 weeks ago, because they won this one.
Just a bit.
Just a bit.
I think it was
just a bit. Talon was struggling there.
Yeah, I think it was quite a bit for GE versus DRX on this map, especially. GE shows that they have that structure. They have those procedures in knowing how to take map control, and also in retakes, especially during this first half against Talon.
Yeah.
And it was, you could see there was also a bit of a skill diff with the individual plays from Monyet, from Batsy, like these big highlight reel individual clutches that you know, won rounds for GE when it looked like they had no business winning them. So it's a lot of different things. I think you're absolutely right that overall, like, the map control is better. You can see there when they move to their attacker side, they basically have like such a good read on how to get into A, how to utilize the space that they're given from the side of Talon to get the plant down and then kind of work from there. So I was very pleasantly surprised with this. I mean, I've been talking Batsy up for a while, and you know, you can see why. He's a very, very strong player. I got to watch him a lot over the last couple of years, you know, whether he was on Crazy Raccoon or on Slayers. I know what this guy's capable of at his best, and it is a high ceiling.
Yeah, he made a real showing today. Now, we did talk about today being Monday, and Monyet definitely showed up straight off the bat in round 1 with
Just
classic.
a Monyet Monday.
Just a Monyet Monday. You're not even kidding. I mean, look at how he played this. 2 stars. One of it wasn't his, but he ducked out of it, came back around the pillar, got 2 right clicks, got another one, and he finishes off with an ace. This is just a first freaking round. How do you... I know it's Monday, but that's amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. With an Iron buddy, too. Like, Iron ranked people everywhere were like, yeah, Monyet's my hero. It was pretty cool.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. He's just spectacular.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like, we just had gotten settled into our seats, like, to watch the match, and all of a sudden it's like Monyet ace. And I'm like, well, here we go again.
Yeah.
Like, we're just
On
right
Split.
back to square one on Split. That's exciting. I mean, he's clearly comfortable on that map. We've seen him work, especially that B pillar, to perfection. He gets how to, you know, the movement's supposed to work, the timings happen. Clearly, it's a map that he is super comfortable on.
Something about those right clicks, kind of like shotguns, right? Because remember, that's how he performed with the judge and
That's
Shorty.
true. Yeah.
That's Monyet's thing.
Yeah, Monyet and the judge, I don't know, any gun in his hand. Actually, with the Phantom in his hand, too. There was one round, whenever they try to push mid, Monyet's around. That's a little dangerous. Aaron, too, just had really good reads.
Yeah, no. I thought Aaron really called a really solid game here. So it's a Viper's Pit off the rip, and they kind of read that there's going to be a push up here. So you can see there's an Astra Star in here, and Monyet's just going to push. He doesn't even pop it, really. He's just spraying through. They know that they're collapsing in there, and Monyet's good for 3. So this is just a great read here, and then he's just going to go for that grab well just in case somebody's lurking around there at the end, or maybe it was a Nova Pulse. I couldn't quite tell, but regardless, it's just a great read here. They know the tendencies of these teams. They know a lot of particular teams like Talon. When you throw down an early Viper's Pit, they want to get in it and just wipe it off the board. So that way they can reestablish some map control, not be limited to just, basically on Split, right? 2 lanes that you're allowed to go down. So this is just Aaron calling a great defensive side as usual.
And it's also blocking off the middle passageway, which is so crucial because when teams are able to take this, they get to set up a bit of that split push that I think Talon was really trying to go for. But as we could see in that clip, it was definitely blocked off by Monyet and his Viper's Pit.
Yeah, I mean, Talon also had a couple of, all right, they had some, like, you saw like a bit of like Talon power there. They had a couple of, good rounds where they took up space, especially one particular post-plant round. You were remarking on this, how well they did.
Yeah, they really tried to. I mean, the round actually started off with Global. I think it really shows how much thought they put into their strats, because you can see on the mini-map, this is a Global attacking side. They started off with that Trailblazer just to clear out vents, and then we have Lightning Fast actually pushing deeper in to set up for that split push. They even used a Hawk just to clear out Mail to prevent Talon from pushing back in. Meanwhile, all this happens, they actually got Talon to spend up their utility, and then they have this Viper's Pit up on towards the A side. They started pushing in together as a squad, taking down Heaven, taking down side, pushing past main. They managed to get the spike down pretty soon. What was good from Talon here is this positional play from Pat, who was hiding up by Hell the whole time. He managed to take out 2, and then comes the retake. We have Garnett's coming in with a blast pack and a Judge up on elbow, but this is what happens with Batsy.
Yeah, this guy individually, absolutely nuts. There's a reason he was a duelist for so long. It's because his reactions are so good. And I just gotta say, a lot of people were calling for Batsy to be the one potentially that's removed from this roster. Absolutely not. You are dead wrong. This guy is absolutely insane. He is clutch with his shooting. He's great with his utility. Like the casters have been talking about, you know, I love the way that he's, you know, he's not a selfish player. He's the one kind of doing a lot of the heavy lifting with the utility in the early part of the round, you know, sacrificing it to get that space for Lightning Fast to set up that crunch at A Heaven. And then at the end of the round, he's just good. I mean, that's just pure skill.
And you need to have a player like that. You need someone who can shine in those clutch moments. When all else is gone, Batsy is your ray of hope. And he, like you mentioned, he's so selfless as well. He's setting up Lightning Fast, who, by the way, was kind of pretty nice on the Raze, a little bit more so than you would have expected Texture to do. But it's a good showing from Global overall. I think Talon, we got the paper.
Look at this guy. He's a.
This feels bad for Talon.
We're gonna print a poster size of that for you to put.
I'm gonna hang this up in my room. Yeah, absolutely. I need it signed by Batsy and everything, and I'm good to go. I love this guy. He's great.
Kiss him goodnight.
I mean, you did have him on your original roster, your draft pick at the beginning, right?
Yeah, the only one I didn't have was Lightning Fast.
Yeah.
And then I threw my pen off the desk. I was like, that's sad. I was like, no, I'm so distracted now by the Batsy poster.
Fuzzy. Okay, well, we also saw the debut appearance of Lightning Fast. We do know that him and SK Rossi just came in 2 weeks ago, and that wasn't a lot of time for them to get acclimated to Korea. And I mean, how'd you guys find it?
Good. I mean, not bad. It wasn't. There were a few mistakes, right? Like the paint shells that came back in his face.
Yeah.
Welcome to
happen.
Korea.
Yeah,
welcome to Pacific.
Yeah. Other than that, I thought he was fine. I mean, it wasn't. He was doing okay on the entries. I saw some really good blast packing, which again is the thing that, like, for me, I'm actually more focused on with Raze players. Is like, okay, cool, everybody can throw paint shells. Like everybody can throw a boom bot. That's not hard.
Yeah.
What impresses me is their blast packing, and I saw some really good deep ones, and that's important.
Yeah, that's how you take space as a duelist, and he's done a great job of it. And if this is how he debuts, you know, I think it's a good showing. It makes you want to see more, especially just on this map split. The fact that he's a new player, and then, you know, maybe SK Rossi comes in. I don't know. Like, Global is a team that has quite a bit of potential. On the other hand, it really breaks your heart to see talent like this, Vic.
Okay, let's talk about talent. This is their second split map that we've seen in the last 2 weeks. Both times it has not been going well. What is going wrong? Like, what can they do better? We're going to Icebox in the next map. This Icebox is Talon's pick. I think maybe Talon might have not wanted to split either, but that was not their choice. What do we want to see in an Icebox?
It sounds basic to say, but there's a little bit of lack of coordination. Like we saw with the triple duelist, and that was a little less surprising in a way. But clearly, like, they don't fight for space in the same way that you saw GE fighting, right? Like, there's always crossfires, almost always, for GE off the rip, whereas Talon's a lot more individual-based, and
rush in.
Rush in and try to just win your peak fights and that kind of thing, and that's okay if you're really, really good, like Paper X, but like, you know, when you don't have that same level of explosive firepower that Paper X does, you know, this is, again, not to diss on anybody on Talon, but when they were at their best, in my opinion, at Lock-In, was when they're playing together. Like, the utility coordination is there, and then everybody follows up on it. I'm not seeing that as much.
Yeah, I think that's something that we kind of need to talk about, or at least explore, because their performance at Lock-In was the best that we've seen so far. I mean, they took down great teams. They had such a great performance. They took a map off DRX. This hasn't happened yet. Maybe, I don't know, we got to see that Lock-In roster again. Maybe Pat needs to take a step back, and maybe we'll have Jit Boys and Garnett's back in. I don't know, because whatever it is that they're trying right now, going this fast and off of individual plays, they seem a bit disjointed, disconnected. It's not really working. You know, we've got Fox kind of underperforming. Garnett's, who is really great, by the way. He was the top fragger for this map, but it's kind of inconsistent sometimes. And there are just so many of these tiny things that kind of all compile. You know, the little things add up, and it really factors into this performance. On to the next map, you know, they banned Parel. We thought they did pretty well on Parel against DRX last week. They banned it, now we're going into Icebox. That they have to perform here because
at least they've won on it. I mean, they've got that going for them. They beat Team Secret on it, so and they look good against the extra lock-in on it, right? But are they gonna, swap it like you're saying? I think they should go back to that Garnet. I agree with you that I think the Garnet Jet Boys combo is probably the best version of them that we've seen. So maybe it's time to, as good as individually as Pat is, it doesn't seem like he's always on the same page as the rest of the team potentially. So I would like to see that lock-in roster and at least give it another shot for another week or two at the end of this, just to see if maybe that can be the future.
Right. Now we are going into map 2, Icebox, as we've mentioned. And again, today is high stakes. A team that does not walk away winning is gonna struggle to make it into playoffs. These are the two bottom ranking teams at the moment, even though both of them have showed clear potential. Now I'm very curious if SK Rossi is still gonna be out, or if he's gonna be coming in, if there are gonna be any roster switches.
Hey, he's sitting right there.
There he is.
He's using a final mouse too.
Ooh, nice. Nice.
All right.
Mouse.
This is great.
That Loud showed off when they started to integrate Harbor back at Lock. More aggressively, you can flash through your own walls of smoke as well, while the Silva, of course, is going to secure a little bit more info and has a little bit more post-plant utility.
Well, it's another first here for Texture. The Sage, something we hadn't seen before, looked quite good. Now he comes out with the Killjoy. So first Sentinel appearance for him here today in his career. For now, heavy presence from Talon, who are first on the attack, drifting over towards B. See, there's a couple other people who are nearby. His kitchen being held at the moment by Texture. Aaron now looking to join him.
Yeah, but look at the setup once again, right? This is what I was talking about. A site, it was purely taken by the double team of Guiding Light and then the Jet to peek out. Now Aaron just has to stay alive. I mean, they purposely left the site entirely open.
Right before that Wall goes up, Aaron getting line of sight, manages to go in. Takes down Garnets. It's a lot of firepower left on the ground now here for the side of Talon.
Surely you suspect, yeah, that someone has come to the flank, but can they be ready for it? I mean, if the timing's right, Global Esports, they should strike from both sides at the same time.
Rossi backing away. It looked like they wanted to use this dog, but instead it's going to be Bazzi picking up 2 kills.
I think it's a good call, right? You don't want to get caught with your hands out just trying to control the utility. Meanwhile, Cruz just trying to hide, but he gets caught.
They're just flooding them, and it's going to be a flawless
Yeah, I mean, they're staying because they're always good for at least one on the map, if not both, and obviously that's how they're staying with such a huge positive record. Now, I like that the fact that they're prioritizing Seekers as well. When we started to see Sky really show back up, the fact that sometimes she's the main initiator or the only initiator, that means the Seekers allow you to have one extra round of really confirmed information.
Yeah, not having that Sova does give you that nice little advantage here. Let's try to shift the balance back into your favor.
Well, force buy here with the Stingers from Talon. Not everyone, but everyone does buy down with the Sheriffs as well.
Pretty shallow wall here from Aaron. Not blocking off too much of anything, but I mean, the jump peaks, confirming presence at the very least, start quickly dealt with. Not going to find much there. As Rossi going to be the one situated a little bit further forward. Looks like he wants to swing out. I think's better of it. Aaron will just send the wall towards him. Rossi goes for the push. Oh no! And I think that might just be a little bit of over-eagerness here in his debut. Let's end up going down. The rest of the team now looking to hold the line.
Aaron's stuck. He does need support, but Bodsy not going to stay alive for too long.
And suddenly, we're in a 2v2. Weapons recovered. Sushi Boy's picking up that Spectre. Pat wants to do the same, otherwise still does have the Stinger. Swing out now into a 1v1. As it's Monyet versus Sushi.
But Sushi did pick up the Spectre. It's just a matter of mind games.
And he's just not ready for Monyet to be in that position. Was expecting it further back. Still quite a bit of spending on both sides. I mean, you see Pat down to 1,000, 1,200 for Sushi. Everybody else on the side of Global as well. Putting in quite a bit of money, only texture with that Spectre in hand, 2,000.
Yeah, so Talon just poised to make sure they can either buy full armor and weapons or half armor with full utility in the next round.
Oh, it's a quick and easy swing out. 16 HP though remaining from Monyet. If you can join up with Bazzi in a little bit, they can go ahead and heal that away.
Yeah, they're gonna have to buy time for that, and that's exactly what they do. Backs off, texture, just trying to keep screens, right? As long as you have screens and you have, oh, Bogsy.
Cruz coming up on this flank angle, finds Aaron as well to boot. Fantastic timing from him. Drop down, however, out of have-been is Bazzi. Woo!
I mean, Bazzi.
Man's on one today. Some good sheriffing overall from the side of Talon. Themselves a couple of kills, a good flank from Cruz as well. We saw him early up on that belt area. He drops the spike down and says, I want to go on this flank. And it ends up paying off reasonably well.
Yeah, I mean, again, that was the round where they're okay with just taking whatever they can. Now they're set up for their buys. They do complete the lockdown as well for Sushi Boy. So this is a chance to finally turn the momentum around on the side of Talon. They've even already taken early control of mid and a kill for Garnets.
Very nice. Garnet's not setting off that turret. Goes for Aaron first, finds it, then deals with the KJ util. And oh, Pat just barely did not see Rossi there. And he's able to just ADS and get the headshot.
this is what you can start to do when you have this double team Sky in the jet, right? You can send in that deep flash with the guy and find, set up your jet. And, you know, be prepared to provide some backup from any position because of the way that her utility works. I mean, you can get quite a bit of distance on all of this.
Yeah. I mean, we're seeing it a bit in, you know, our most recent Icebox game. EJ being able to rush forward, get the early picks outside of A. Seeker's going to be used here. So we've got 50 seconds remaining. Confirm that there is enough presence over here towards the A side. Still, though, not enough for texture. And one yet to rotate across.
Rossi, he doesn't have the best of weapons. Oh, I was going to say not the best of weapons to take away the lockdown, but he is going to wait patiently for a kill.
Yeah, I mean, and he kind of needed that. The longer that he stayed, the more reliant he was going to be on needing that dash to be able to get out and avoid getting detained. So just pop that. No spray through the wall to try to disrupt this, but Rossi now on for an ace.
Oh, he wants it so. Surely one of the spearheads today for Global as they continue to look like it might be a swift victory finally as they try to go for their first win here in Pacific.
Roping across, this will have been heard and now spotted. Garnet's dropping down just in time to avoid getting any damage. The bite now zoning in the back, and Pat, vulnerable, gets headshot, gets killed. Can't quite adjust to find the second, but then the dog comes in, finds one. A little bit of an awkwardness though, as Fox takes down Garnets with his own Hunter's Fury, but at the end of the day, it's Rossi, the last man standing. The pride and hope of India now looking to bring them across the line. There's one gone.
Oh, spots Cruz, they hear the drop.
Cruz is walking in, but it's a faster turn there from Fox in the corner. He is able to go ahead and get Talon that first round win again at great cost. Ash from the side of Global, very much banked up. Talon, it's rough around the edges, going to be seeing some half armor.
Yeah, the half armors, we'll see if that comes back to bite him or if it's going to be just enough to kind of keep them on life support as they try to claw back in. You're a map 2, because here's the thing, they not only have to win Icebox, but they have to kind of get to map 3 to even have a chance to get their own first win.
Take a look at it now. Looks like Garnet's just going to be going for the Blade Storm.
The operator is going to hold mid, guiding line. Whoa!
I was going to say, he should have been able to spot Manya initially. In the end, manages to find him, get that headshot across. See how he continues to play on the entry here for his team. His walls are up, just trying to stop the push from coming through, and that's going to be the reckoning now invested from Pat.
Now, this doesn't force them to empty the site, but they're going to hear a lot of the footsteps. Like GES, though, they have no reason to really flank around on their own. Now, Cruz, of course, the reason they're rotating is because of that deep flank, and we saw that in the picture-in-picture as well. I mean, he faced no opposition. Do they recognize that he could be this deep already?
It looks like Aaron does as he's inching forward. Rossi now scoped in.
Oh,
the timing! He's going to turn away, and this could be a 2-for-1 if he decided to swing it, but he does not.
He's just waiting for the rotates. He just wants to fight them right in the last second. He's going to hear this. Here's the drop.
Bassie's coming around on the opposite side. That will at least confirm that position. And that last knife would have been enough to do it, but can't quite find it. Cruz with a fantastic just drift through the B site into that lurk. Will finally fall. Aaron looking like, grab up the operator, go for the save.
Yeah, that's the best play you could do, right? I mean, with the operator dropped, that's what could start to hurt your economy. You say, okay, we're already down in the numbers as well. Let's just save the operator texture. He's just in a position where
he hit a timing here.
Yeah, just try to get one extra kill, try to get towards that lockdown. No, he's just going to play it safe.
Okay. Drifts back across the opposite way. We'll be all right, tucked away in kitchen. So Operator held on to. Talon do find their second. This is good for them to be able to find their footing because, you know, we're talking about how bad the economy was looking. And Aaron, oh boy, not what you want to see there.
Yeah,
complete and utter whiff.
Yeah, he was holding the angle as well, but I mean, sure, the timer was just about to run out. Maybe you were going through your comms. It looked a little shaky. Meanwhile, Garnett's was decided in for the kill on the hunt here. Oh, man. I mean, just a nice movement from Garnett's as well. Of course, with that Blaze Storm, that's the advantage he has in that duel.
Well, timeout now going to be used by Global. Even though they have the lead, they don't want Talon to find a way back into this. Take a look at, you know, Icebox, this is, what, the third time that we've had it so far in Pacific. It has been one of the least played, if not the least played map now.
Yes, I believe so. Now that Split's been picked a couple extra times. Yeah. Icebox being widely avoided, not even picked at all, usually banned out. So we'll see Global Esports. And now I wonder if they're also discussing, obviously not in this next round because they don't have the economy for it, but eventually do you try to go for this operator again? Because one of the strengths that I keep mentioning is if you have this guy in the jet, you can actually just push out together with the rifles. But if you only have the operator, you know what? I give credit, all right, to that. That takes courage to hold that right here, and then also with the dab, which I did my first dab because of depth the other day on broadcast.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'm just, did Tyler 1 get banned? What are we freeing him?
No, Tyler 1 always wants more freedom.
I see.
That's what it is.
I see. He's so thoroughly American.
Well, obviously.
Never enough freedom, brother.
No, not enough.
Oh, okay. Covering fire is not as good as it needed to be.
All right, go next.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. They've been slow creeping around garage. You don't expect them to hit this a little bit faster, but I think Global, they say, okay, yeah, well, we know that you guys are on an eco. We're going to push the envelope here a little bit harder than we normally do. And, yeah, Rossi ends up getting caught with the Bucky in the end.
Yeah, now.
Oh, I mean, I like the idea from Texture. You're droning. I'm going to molly you. Maybe I'll get a kill. I know you're low HP, but Pat just shuts that down.
Yeah, I'd say best attempt he could have had. And looks like, okay, they do want to stick with the op, so most likely what that means is they want to position Rossi to just hold. Wow, what a just mess of a firefight there, but they're going to position him to hold through a guiding light and then rotate Botsy over quickly.
Let's go!
And has to be good for his first shot should Talon ever rotate back to him.
Mid-presence now. 3 people ready to creep across you towards tube where Texture's the lone member waiting.
Oh, and Foxy wasn't spotted here. Oh, he's actually going to enter garage.
Yeah, he misses this timing.
But in some ways,
there's no one to cover for him.
Yeah, I mean, neither of them know surely of the other presence. Meanwhile, the site is being taken through kitchen. A great guiding light.
Oh, Bazzi. Well, he does crucially shut down the pit. Denies that from being an entry, some entry util onto the site. Texture now spotting, but can't swing wide enough to take down Garnett's. We'll find one. Garnett's now pulls off of that plant. Shuts Texture down. Sushi Boys in the meantime, catching Moniette on the rotate. The op in mid needs the shot. He nails it. Dash forward.
Does he know about kitchen?
No, he does not. Still that lurk there. Pat able to find that punish. That's all on Aaron, the IGL, trying to make this happen. He knows what one's happened at this point. Garnett's could be anywhere. He's right out in front waiting. That brings us 4-4, tied up for the first time this series.
Yeah, and an early timeout use as well. Let's remember that on the side of Global Esports, but they're actually not able to regain the momentum. Again, their pistols are always good. Their early rounds look good, but let's say it like it is. I mean, the overall big picture idea with the operator was fine. You want to get an aggressive position, but the way you executed it, you left, kind of an opening there, and obviously it was a very sliver of a timing where Foxy is able to get through, but that alone already buys enough time for the site to be overtaken, despite Botsy's heroics to try to shut down the Viper's pit.
This is a little bit concerning. I mean, granted, it's the first time that we're seeing Icebox from Global. This is, that kind of debut of the map, but we've seen it from Talon before. They were able to beat Team Secret on this map when Secret had selected it. Secret, of course, as we've noted many times, not having been able to win on any of their map picks yet.
Yes.
But widely, the biggest thing that concerned me is that Talon were able to get 9 rounds on the defending side. It was on the attack where they struggled.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, surely even their utility usage with their harbor has been improving since then as well. That time it was a lot off the back of the firepower of all 5 players. Today, things seem to be a little bit more in sync. So, Global, you got to start to get a bit more concerned. Now, obviously, this round, they're taking it just a bit slower on the eco. Now, this is all really to set up for Monyet, and he's already good for one.
He's got one, he gets the other. Oh, the man's biting the tightrope.
Oh, my God.
I mean, if nothing else, esports doesn't work out, clearly he'd be good in a circus.
Yeah, I mean, the acrobatics are there. Texture just trying to buy time. Oh, he does make sure that the vulnerable lands on him, but not going to be able to fight back.
Cirque de Monnier.
Cirque de Monnier. Yeah, he changed the name a little bit.
Yeah, it's a minor change up. Cruz, though, pushing forward. We'll find Aaron. Rossi going to fall. Leaves Texture on his lonesome with the Sheriff in hand, and he's making noise. And that'll be the finisher. I mean, again, bloody rounds. They're coming up with some good kills, limiting the number of weapons that are carried over, but Talon now have a very solid bank built up for themselves here.
Yeah, they can buy whatever they want for the rest of this half. And notably, first time they're taking the lead here in this matchup against Global Esports, right? They've been falling behind ever since Split. Wow. That was great to watch in slow-mo. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I know a lot of fans who have been following Monyet's career are so happy to see him perform on the global level. So credit to him. But right now, all focus on Talon. They're starting to correctly read how Global Esports wants to use this comp, especially, again, the way they've been trying to position SK Rossi's Jet off the back of that sky.
Really clear on the drone.
So what we just saw on the mini-map was the fact that Cruz, I believe, gets tagged by the guiding light, but that means that Global Esports also can't push out too confidently. Cruz is just there because he knows eventually at some point the Jet and Sky have to be together. They're going to push out. You can see it in the small screen. He's just waiting for them to come fight him.
Push not coming in, some blind shots sent across. Looking for that hit, Rossi. Now able to find Cruz. The Nano Swarm gets set and cleared. Lockdown will flush them back off the site. Maybe Texture would go for the answering defending Lockdown, just to try to draw the stalemate. Not to beat. Aaron, so close to getting punished there through the pipes.
All right, using the Reckoning just to push back onto Snowman.
Oh, Monyet! Monyet gets boxed through pipes, finds Pat. Now Garnet's dead. Seems like Global not one. Did they get ahead? But man, what a twisted pop there from the Sushi Boys.
So much that Sushi Boys has to do. He's just being kept, you know, his attention tied behind him because of Batsi's Sky.
He's gonna swing out wide. The initial shot in the up. It does not connect. Texture's gonna back off. Suddenly, this is winnable. It would have to be an ace. He's looking for it. Texture will say no. Shuts it down, grabs the up, hands to the user.
Behind the container.
All right, and another timeout. Just 4 rounds later. This time Talon looking to figure out how they can go ahead and get themselves back into this leading position. But again, I mean, I don't feel that concerned right now if I'm the coach. Obviously, some things to trim up, make sure that they're, you know, not making some of the little micro mistakes that we've been seeing. But given what we've seen from them on the defending side of this map, I would still be sitting pretty.
Yeah, I mean, again, you also have to think about that initiator difference, right? When you're over on that defensive side, not only can you try to get more secure info, but, oh, we got some fans watching their first ever Valorant.
Love from America.
Love to see it. Welcome, welcome. Not sure first time watching at all or first time watching in person, but either way, greetings to you.
Willkommen.
Oh, there you go. Well,
bienvenue.
It's just all languages. Throw it all out there. But, I mean, this is a great match to watch. Now, the big question is you got to imagine that SK Rossi and Batsi, they're always going to try to look for these timings where they can continue to push out. What's the answer? Last time it was Cruz just hanging on the lurk, trying to catch him off guard, and SK Rossi wins that duel. Uh-oh, and he gets spotted.
And now he's going to go for the updraft and know exactly where he's at. Is the covering fire going to be good? The answer is yes. Cruz able to find one, and Texture apprehensive about swinging out again. Finally decides to do so. He'll take the singular kill and back away. Seemingly satisfied, at least with that trade.
Yeah,
Both Vipers down nice and early.
Wise choice from Texture. Just even the numbers, that's all you had to do, because that means it bought time for Rossi to push out again. But this time they have so many members over on Belt.
They're in so deep. And Rossi so far forward, finds one. He's able to break that line of sight. Now draws out the knives.
Just to scout, make sure that they haven't gotten into the site yet. That buys enough time for Aaron.
Holding the corner, looking for a little bit more. Aaron will go ahead, drop the spike. Pat dead, Hunter's Fury getting that singular connection. Suddenly just Fox, he will fall.
Just sitting there. Hidden, just great comms coming out.
Garnets. How quickly do they want to push this pace? Or really just an alarm bot in their way that's easily cleared. Extra waiting to see if this is going to end up being a side before you plants any of these nanostorms. Even then, expecting the lockdown is going to be the first thing used.
Talon's idea is, okay, just let them push out of A if they need to, as long as we confirm the ops on here, let's just go for a 5-minute stack. They most likely want to try to push in further as well, but here's a lockdown.
It's going to draw them forward. They're going to want to clear this.
Absolutely.
They're going to push the corner, try to get the destroy on it, and they do. The smoke goes down, Texture falls. Right now, getting ready to come in. Aaron's going to be noted. Garnet's up top, decides not to take the fight, ends up backing away. Aaron drops to the low ground. Also get picked apart.
Great setup, and during that chaos, that actually allows Pat to hide up there in the nest, but he is going to have to leave. No, he's going to win.
Doesn't win that fight somehow. Pat able to stabilize the aim, goes down to 30 HP, sure, but wins it out. Now Rossi with an operator. What can you do? A flawless round to end the half and tie it up at 6-6. Talon, they say in it.
Wow, tied at the half, but you mentioned it, Achilles. Talon, they looked great on the other side of the map the last time they played, especially against Team Secret. I think if you're Talon, I mean, especially with how things started off on Split, you're feeling pretty comfortable here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the ever-important pistol round coming through. It's going to allow you to string together a nice start on the second half. We'll see if Global can continue to excel in that regard, or if Talon will keep it even at 2-2. But definitely a more alive-looking Talon than we were seeing on our first map. Clearly, despite them electing to go to Split last week, Icebox very much more comfortable.
Wait, I thought they didn't play Split last week. What do you mean?
Oh, you're right. Never mind. Forgot. We had that collective fever dream.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, they do look a lot better. And the other thing is, what we're seeing as a big difference here is that they're making these organized calls, which is what seemed to be missing in some of these earlier weeks in Pacific, which was a little disappointing. I mean, a lot of people expected a lot from Talon off of their performance at Lockett. Their calls were good. They were even taking very, very strong calculated risks. And then they came to Pacific. Things seemed to be in a bit of confusion. I think even Cruz said that in an interview recently as well, where they're still just trying to figure out what roles each person's going to play. Today, they're making the reads a bit crisper round to round. They're adjusting to try to keep up, if not overtake, Global Esports.
Right, well, pressure's certainly mounting here. Let's see if they can get that breakaway pistol round win, though. Talon are going to be able to answer this one back. I mean, a third map, Haven on the horizon. Who knows how that one goes down? Let's see if we can get there.
I mean, who knows who's playing if we get to Haven?
I mean, that's, yeah, another very good point. Ronsky obviously waiting in the wings. Lightning Fast could come back in, play Raze on Haven for all we know.
Absolutely, that's
plenty of things that can happen. And I mean, Talon are very much in a similar situation, what with Jin Boys as well. We sat backstage. So if we can get to that third and final map, who knows what it all looks like. We can see Rossi, Garnets right now fairly neck and neck between the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, obviously the team score is tied, but the kill board looks a bit similar as well. Actually, just down to the wire, right, with the Jets up top, and then the Killjoy is the initiator. So clearly both teams just trying to answer back and forth, round to round, and that's going to make this pistol round even more important than it usually could be.
Recon and a fairly forward position here from Garnet. Puts just a very small amount of damage in on a texture, but he himself gets knocked out at 41. Good return fire, no kill found quite just yet. Rossi now at 33, and Cruz spotting. Let's go ahead and get the double team money. Going to be taken down now. Texture falling as well. Swing on the corner. Rossi and Aaron able to reply back. Rossi looking for another one, but just one more bullet on that frenzy steady. Would have been able to find it. Instead, it's going to be Bazzi now in a 1v2.
Garnett somehow still surviving with 15 HP, but he's correctly waiting to make this a 2v1. He's just gonna play kind of shield or bait here for Pat. I mean, or Pat with the better health, he could try to stand up front as Garnett tries to get the aim with the ghost.
But he's not gonna read it. Expects it, that wraparound is gonna come through from the back Raptor. Does not, and that's gonna be Talon. Second half pistol rounds going their way.
Yeah, they're splitting each half across both teams, one on either side. So Talon off to a good start, the start that they want here in the second half. Now, the way they set up for Cruz, and these were the kind of things that we wanted to see from Talon, right? Is if someone gets kind of spotted early, then you back out, you draw aggro, you kind of set up and bait for your teammate. Woo. Yeah, lots of excitement, but we're seeing it come alive.
Finally something to get pumped about here for Talon. Back in with a lead. But the force buys coming up from Global. This is a big gamble.
Yeah, they're gonna have to, I mean, this is one where they have to get the win, otherwise they may as well actually kiss the half goodbye. It's gonna have a huge impact. Now, Talon doesn't go yet.
No, they do not. Still eat a good amount. Healing is gonna be there. Fortunately, they do have that Sky. Shock Dart, second one. Now you use drone, gonna be thrown in as well. Fox just dumping any and all util that he can. They use the pistols to clear the drone, so they still might not have a sense that this is going to end up being a buy. Now they do.
They know.
Push up over the top again. Cruz making this play, finds one yet. So 1 for 1 for now.
Yeah, the fact that he stays alive, this has bought so much time for Pat to just make sure that there hasn't been a rotation yet.
Has he?
What?
Managing to find two. Garnett's putting that Vandal to work. Does punish. Advantage barely there, though. 3v2. Start rotating around. Forward, no. Decides to go with the rest of the team.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't run into Pat just yet, worst case, he's on site on B. But the correct assumption would be that they would eventually group up, right? And that's exactly what Talon's going to do. So that will go down. The force buy looking promising so far.
Texture's going to stay on this lurk. See if anybody wants to come under tube, cut across that way. And instead can now start to inch forward and have his own flank through that position.
Yeah, Talon, the idea here is going to be use your utility, make sure you're setting up for kills for Garnett with that Vandal, and then maybe even Pat just drawing aggro with the Cove and trying to force the defuse here.
I just feel like having Texture here a little bit sooner might have been good for him. As Rossi turns the corner, puts a little bit of damage in. Up on the spike, they spray through, they find one. Garnett's going to fall, and there you have it, the force This is definitely going to hurt, but they do get it done. It's like Vandal's still going to be helped by Aaron. Give him that added little bit of firepower as Rossi looks to push the tempo.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just trying to make the same call that Talon did against them as well.
I think Pat may have been seen. He's going to have to use the Cove just to get himself out of there.
Well, any sort of form of retake is going to be an absolute impossible mission here with the eco buy from Talon. Now with the Cove gone as well.
Couple darts from Fox, who's nearby. If he can read the plant position, might be able to put some extra damage in. Flash goes in, won't find much of anything. Do spot one, and I mean, one yet dropping off the rope, lands on the ground, sticks his feet. finds the kill, finds another, and there you go. Talon, see if they can give their fans something more to cheer for. As it's a glass cannon investment from Garnets. Wrapping on the rope, drops down, plays nice and close, scoped in. Just praying the texture will swing into him.
All right, and now we have Foxy making sure that he's up on the nest as well on site to just scout the belt, which is going to be ever so important. That does mean Foxy also can't leave the site unless they reposition Garnet. So this is a two-person commitment to make sure that A site is practically shut down on the attack. Meanwhile, Nanoswarm placed on B default to buy time should the attack come through here.
Oh, and they get the
wow!
Garnets, they both just swing together. That's Texture and Monyet knocked out. And that's how you even things up again. The push coming in, nearly finding Sushi. Spot him. Rossi not able to find the kill. What a turn is that?
Oh.
He gets the third to boot.
Wow.
And suddenly, from a flawless into a flawless of their own, Talon, they continue to answer back 8 and 8.
That operator coming in and paying dividends. I mean, you placed this so early, such a good position in Garnet, getting that slight flick. Ooh, Pat, the reaction times as well.
Just nasty stuff. And this is one of the things that, while I think Pat Wiley today looking a lot better when it comes down to the Harbor util, he looked a little bit weak in that regard versus Secret, but the fragging was still there.
Yes.
And now he's delivering on both fronts, which is good.
And now, Global Esports, an important round to see if they can solve, the riddle for this operator, or against this operator, rather. Now, they do have the Reckoning and the Seeker, so good ultimates to try to flush out that weapon.
Hello. That's the thing, I don't care about this. Oh, Pat, I mean, aggressive push out. He has been going on these garage alerts. This one a little bit faster than the others. And he comes up with the kill, Aaron taken down.
Now you know that they're in mid, they have presence in mid and A, and there was no one on B, so you're just hanging back on site with the operator. Garnets, he still has his tailwind as well. If he's good for one more kill and just gets out free this round, you can kiss it goodbye on the side of Global Esports.
Heard the noise. Somebody's playing up on pipes. Seeker's now going to be let loose.
He's going to wait until the last
Monyet
second.
Pushes up into the nest. And Rossi will be the first to fall. Monyet trying to spam him out of position. Garnet does go ahead and exit towards backside.
Yeah, but
how do you get in here? I mean, Pat is still swinging around the backside, and they will just get cleaned up. Only Fox is getting taken out there. Talon, once again, will establish a lead for themselves.
Yeah, and again, the backup, right? As soon as you hear the Seekers come through and the awareness to be prepared for that potential guiding light, he hears it start to fly in. He dodges it, Garnet. He is set up to make sure that they have to focus on flushing him out. That allows Fox to get this position. I mean, a great recon as well.
Well, getting closer and closer now to that map 3. Talon fighting back fantastically. Can't help but wonder, where was this team in your last matchup? There's the forward rush. Garnet's nearly able to find that shot, but they don't read that Sushi Boys is also going to be in this position.
Yeah,
trying to swing out, but the covering fire from Talon is just multi-layered and precise. Bazzi with a nice shot will find one, will find two, will find three, and suddenly, you gotta stop pushing into this guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, that was very, very dangerous. The operator not being found yet either, but okay, Bazzi doing whatever damage he can, because I was about to say, I mean, this is kind of a crazy commitment to push forward with an operator and 3 people against an eco round. I guess you just wanted to shut it down. But this is also, if you're a Talon fan, this is the type of risk, the unexpected risk that Talon took at lock-in that really threw off their opponent. So it is good to see that they have this confidence, and it was set up properly, right? You have the over-under and then the third person peeking out. So the round was most likely always going to be a win. It was just a matter of how many weapons you drop.
And they got plenty of money.
Yes.
So still going to be feeling quite decent there, albeit Bazzi now just a couple of charges away from having that next Seekers. But timeout, Second one going to be used here by Global to try to right the ship. See if it gets the job done. The first one that they called, not enough to get them the round win.
Yeah, and the other thing to consider about playing rounds like that, right, where you're just pushing aggressively, if you know you have the extra weapons and you have your trades set up, your crossfire set a little bit of extra information that Global Esports can work with. Garnett's taking another new position here with the operator.
Look at the ults across the board. I mean, you want to say, okay, Global has got something to work with, but then you compare, and Talon's got 4, and they're not far off from the 5th. It's going to be that pit cruise.
So you now know the operator is here, and considering it's got the turret, surely you suspect that it was up on that box. It's coming out again, but this time you already have Monyet planted in the garage.
Yeah, he's behind him. They're playing Ring Around the Rosie at the moment. They just don't know it. Wall coming out. I mean, that should be called. They have to know that he's out there. Monyet is not swinging back. Given that wall placement, he has to be in a forward position.
Yeah, no, surely they suspect where this came from.
Has Texture just not noticed it? He was in front, but I mean, it makes some noise.
I don't know if they read where the angle was coming from, and then Aaron perhaps focusing on making the call to enter the site, didn't catch the very end of it, entering the wall. Either way, maybe they're just assuming that we just ignore it, let's go with the plan that we have.
This could be everything.
No.
They're out in the open, that's the spike. He's cutting across, Aaron just does not know.
Oh, no!
And Pat strikes, and suddenly he's gonna say, how the hell did this happen? Monyet around the back should be able to catch him, but no. Second separating them.
Pat, he knows something's off.
He does, but he just can't quite line it up. Monyet will be able to trade that one back. Meanwhile, Sushi Boys forward lurk. Much like Whitebird Harbor, both now Killjoys. They're really missing each other in mid.
Now, very important that SK Roxy, despite all that chaos, was able to get some forward control here in A. That's the only hope they had of taking over a site. He draws out the operator's shot as well, and that does set up for the Viper's pit.
Hunter's Fury goes across, they do complete the plan. Texture able to find Sushi Boys. Garnett's expecting this push coming out of mid. Texture wisely decides to back away. Knives now do come through.
Mission to hold the site on his own.
Right into the shoulder, that last one. Shorty out. Rossi will make a fight. Let's go for the blind spray. The arm with the Vandal in hand. Oh, might just come through from Talon to save it. As I say that, Monyet's going to be taken down to pit now. Absolutely gone. Dashes right in front of Rossi. He never checks behind. 2v1, a 1v1. Texture the last one.
Yeah, but
the time just not there.
You just have to stick in.
Okay, a closeout on the round. Bring them
allows them to get the pit down on top of the plan, and that secures the defense.
I mean, it's the one ult invested. They get 2 away from the side of Talon, so in the end, only a very valuable round here for Global. Hit at the ready, however. Cruz ready to utilize this as the Seekers go chasing. The walls come up from Aaron as well. Even cut off that screen's access.
Now, Seekers and Trailblazer has cleared out the first floor of the pit, so they know they're not there.
Fox finding one, puts some damage on the Rossi, forces him to exit.
Oh, the snake bite!
Right in onto the cove, and it's going to be the shock dart that finishes the job.
Oh my God, the debuff coming in on timing there. What a good setup.
Fantastically done. Bazzi noting Pat, but they flush Sushi Boys out of the back side. Does bring this into a 3v3. Garnett's still wary about a flank in mid. They'll start rotating over to join in with the rest of the team. Lockdown going to be used. Texture invests this. Bazzi cuts one down. Identifies where Fox is at. Fox wins the fight. Vandal headshot to go ahead and finish the job. Now they can use this to just go ahead and push up, finally grab the spike and get this plant down.
Foxy just trying to see if he can get a little bit of spam right at the edge of the lockdown. Does get planted, and no Blade Storm ready for Garnett's. They have to work with the operator.
They have 1 nano. to try to bring this across the line, and it's going to be cleared. Picture now. His position noted, but he wins the fight. On to one. Garnet's full HP, and Picture! He does it again!
Standing through the wall, that seems to be the meta if you're going towards this hard and breaker box. But Box was in line for an ace. Sure, he was damaged up, but the setup here was good on the side of Talon, right? Make sure to pull up and crossing, trying to push that out of his line. Well, Box tries to find the angle and Picture correctly.
He can win back-to-back.
Down to the wire, Talon now. What can you say? Try to get them ready for this next round. You've been going back and forth every time Global's been able to catch up since the second half. You get, you know, that next follow-up round, just maintain that lead. Can they do it again? Because right now, given what we've been seeing, unless one team is able to break away from another, it just feels like overtime is an inevitability.
Yeah, I mean, they've been really kind of trading blows back and forth. Now, of course, should note that Pat did die with the Reckoning still in hand, so that is available for Talon to try to make the momentum come back in favor for themselves. Curious about their exact economy. I know Garnet's had to buy down for that, you know, repeated operator commitment or investment rather.
Lots of Monyet fans. Understandable.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Very well deserved. And I think more than anything, fans of Monyet and fans from Indonesia they're not just happy that Monyet's playing well, but I'm sure they're happy because now they can also share with the rest of the world what a powerhouse this player has been. And again, he's been one of the most consistent players here for Global Esports at VCT Pacific.
Take a jet, make him into a machine.
It's working.
Continues to just work wonders here for them. Worth noting, this is the first time I believe that Pat has played a back-to-back agent.
Okay,
I
yeah.
think this is the first time that he's actually repeating something, what with his Harbor pick, as everything else has been just new stuff from him. In the last 30 days, we've seen him play, what, 7 different agents? And this is like the first time that he's done one twice.
Yeah. We've got some extra fans from Germany asking us to speak German. Do you know any German?
9.
9? Oh, okay. Ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch.
I did say willkommen earlier,
You
but...
did. So you know 2 words.
Obviously, guten Tag.
Guten Tag, okay, there you go. Pete Gates is, how are you? How's it going?
That's about all I got. You had some time over at ESL.
I did, yeah, and I studied a little bit of German as well. Lost a lot of it now to the times, but welcome to Korea as well. I mean, this is the other great thing about you know, these leagues is that you get to visit, especially in EMEA and Pacific, right? You're close enough that you could try to take a weekend visit, visit the country where the tournament's being hosted, and then get to watch the Valorant as well.
Well, looks like we do have a tech pause, so we'll go ahead and get some nice fan signs while we get whatever is going on taken care of. Seems like it's going to be on the Talon side of things. Hopefully we can get this dealt with quickly and get back into the action, because obviously we don't want to slow the momentum on either side, given how these teams have been going back and forth. And look at that.
All right, we are ready to go. Yeah, so the economy just kind of in shambles for Talon. So they're just going to buy the single judge.
Much like Rossi did earlier with the Bucky. This time it was Pat with the judge in the garage. Get in there, kill them all. This did not work.
And he's still at 900 creds, right? I mean, again, we talk about some of these economic choices. You know, buying the judge itself is not the problem, but if you're trying to buy a hero judge, as weird as that sounds, and you know, you're not set up for a full buy.
If you buy a judge, let's be clear, you are not a hero.
The villainous judge, there we go. You're buying the villain judge. Well, it's not going to come to anything, and he's down to 900 credits for the next round.
Well, a bit anticlimactic of a round after a little additional delay on the backside of the tactical timeout. Darts clear the way. Fox and Cruz eventually need to make their way over towards B, because if nothing else, they need to die to the spike explosion. But Texture has other things in mind.
Yeah, it's positioned the other way, so. Oh, he now.
Oh, okay. Well, they will get one for their trouble.
Doesn't do much, Foxy.
Can he get into it?
No, he can't, so now he wants to go and die to them.
Hey, kill me! And they, I mean, they probably should have just not, but.
Yeah. No, but I mean,
fine.
Yeah, it does give them all the so, all in all, I think both sides are okay.
That's good. I mean, at least he got his thing. He also did have a weapon.
They're still buying up to whatever they can, a little bit of half armor on the side of Pat.
Oh.
Operator.
Texture, no. I don't think he saw him.
I don't think he saw.
Otherwise, he wouldn't be going for this. Well, now he's very well aware.
Okay.
Hunter's Fury. Out from Fox, gets the
Whoa.
tag, gets the kill. Aaron take it down. Nicely done. Wasn't sure if he was going to be able to get anything with that one, but he absolutely does. And that's a big part of the plant util eliminated.
And I like that commitment, right? You have your own lockdown, you know, if Texture is able to build up to his at some point before we go to a potential overtime. So
yeah.
Might as well just use Hunter's Fury to try to get a lead because you are desperate to catch up
Oh
here.
my God! Oh, the combo of Bazzi and Rossi is continuing to go hand in hand. I'll headshot him, you finish him.
Yeah, and you took out the Killjoy, so you know that they have to be focused on Kitchen once again. You just plant Rossi to draw attention on the lurk here.
Drew's trying to buy some space, throws down that bite, sprays in up top. Well, yet, don't believe, not getting hit by the dart.
Oh, but Rossi's already all the way through Kitchen. He's on the flank. Now, time-wise, do they rotate over to B? They're actually going to get around Pat as well.
Oh, but that lurk around the back. Rossi with the blades out, finds Cruz. Now a 3v4, the spike being still brought around the corner. Pat gets the jump, finds Rossi. Time running low. The Reckoning going to be invested the way.
Push on
out. He goes in, and he's going to be able to take them both down. The spike is planted, but Texture is just not in a position to make anything happen this time around.
Yeah,
he finds one,
kills,
but they can just stay stuck to this. Yeah, even if you get the nano in there, it's just not good enough. Pat will find 4 in the round, and there we have it. We are tied up again at 11-11. Make a wish, William.
We are tied, but you know, if I'm telling my wish is that this, you know, gets you to match point somehow because it was so costly, right? And your econ, now that you've broken the losing streak, it's still not going to be complete full buys, I don't think. Meanwhile, so many creds backed up on the side of Global Esports, so you're not out of the woods yet.
Not.
Yeah, half armors across the board, and a Guardian as well, so Sushi Boys.
Oh, we saw some good gardening. We saw some good gardening.
We did.
We'll go with that. Earlier from both Rossi as well as Bazzi. Let's see what Sushi Boys can get done with it. That lockdown still at the ready. Texture now just 1 charge away.
Rossi with an attacker operator. You still have that Sky to support you. Oh. But yeah, it's hard. Like, you're not going to be able to go through tube to kitchen with the operator here. So the hope was that you'd find someone fishing for info in mid. Ideally, the Killjoy. Then you know that they'd have to reinvest over to the middle part of the map. It doesn't happen, but you know, they spent just enough time where they can still reset. You still have a minute on the clock. The problem being that Garnett's once again a forward position.
Yeah. There's the Cloudburst, backs away. Enough to at least check and see if there's going to be somebody pushing pipes. And actually, I mean, Texture taking a little bit of damage. Shots fly through Nest. Garnett's wanting to stay and try to find that pick, but the Reckoning forces him back. Lockdown as well, going to be invested as they try to sell this fake. Rossi, the only one who's going to be left in the side itself. As he's going to back away.
30 seconds left.
Oh, I mean, a great play from Global, though, right? They really just fake out that they're going to run away from the lockdown. Yeah. It's already, the Talon thinks they're 1 step ahead, but they're actually caught behind.
That's what I'm saying. They're staying forward. They're trying to really sell this. As the counter swing in, they will take down Garnets. It's a lone member on A, so the fake sell did work out. Bazzi now has to exit, though. So he will be able to make it out. But the man advantage is still going to be found by Talon.
Yeah, and they're making sure that Pat tries to catch up to Batsy as well to make sure they know exactly where he is. They hear each other, and Batsy with a kill. Now they have to make sure that Sushi Boy stays alive for that alarm bot in mid. Otherwise, they're going to have to worry about him.
Aaron Getting some revenge for the early death previously. Does get picked. The drop down comes in. Fox will find one somehow. Doesn't take any damage in that exchange. Shaw starts to try and clear things out. Sort of one of the nail swarms, the other one lobbed in. Does manage to take it down. And that one, he's going to go ahead. Holds it to half. Has to back away. 7 HP remaining. And Bazzi says thank you very much. Finds the kill. Now it's a hero Vandal, Garnets, and then Sheriffs across the board. We've seen a couple Thrifties here in this map thus far. Can one happen now miraculously for Talon to take us all the way into OT?
Okay, so Global Esports, they know that every time on that eco, they've had Pat try to push out. They invest a lot to make sure that that doesn't happen. Now, that doesn't really sign good news for Talon, because again, the weaponry's not there.
Any kill for Pat's a reckoning. Same for Texture, trying to get a lockdown. Nano spotted, Aaron interrupts the plant just to go ahead and clear that one out. In the meantime, swing around the back, Texture going on the lurk, trying to catch anybody moving out under tube. Ooh, and breaks line of sight just in the right, oh, yeah, I was gonna say at the right time to avoid seeing Sushi Boys, but then Garnets is right around the corner to get the elimination. Now Aaron has to pay attention to the back flank.
Yeah, but
Rossi with one, Patsy with another. They're just trying to inch forward and take down Cruz. And with that damage being dealt, it is just Fox now with that Vandal in hand to try to kill off 4.
Oh, look at their positioning. They're not taking any chances. They just flip it on its head.
Run to the hills. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. To go, trying to get those eliminations. A couple of occasions, falling a little bit flat, but widely, not a bad first showing. I think as well for the side of Talon, this map, it still looks comfortable for them. It's not enough to be able to get the win, but this looked a hell of a lot better. This looked more like lock-in Talon, basically, than I think that we have seen, maybe aside from them versus Secret.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, especially the kind of style of calling that we saw from them, is taking some of these aggressive calculated risks. Things like that is what got them kind of that curveball edge against their opponents at lock-in. So it's good to see that Talon, it does seem like they are starting to stabilize through that chaos and confusion that they had themselves, but not fast enough. They're now sitting at 0 wins and 4 losses. Meanwhile, Global Esports celebrating their first win now with the full entire roster here in Seoul, South Korea.
And it's a huge one, and it's a major turning point, because you lose out on this one, you go to that 0-4 like Talon just has, your playoff hopes, goodbye.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, effectively not going to be able to happen from there, barring some really bizarre.
बहुत early party start करेंगे, ठीक है? शाम तक चलेगा। DJ, are you ready, bro? कभी तो एक ऐसा बीट ड्रॉप करना पड़ेगा आपको।
Was language barrier. How do you get over that? I'm going to say that's no longer.
I mean, I think that the biggest help for me is texture. Now I can actually talk to texture, whereas in the last... already has, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. But Global Esports, I mean, they now make that start. Can they continue that into these kind of win streaks? Or was this one of those one-offs? We'll have to wait and see, of course, until next week. But the way they won today, I would say that this is very, very promising if you're a fan of Global Esports.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, a great time to have that watch party over in Mumbai and everything. Have these players come out. Again, I think Rossi, you know, we know what he's capable of. We've seen it in the past. A little bit shaky here, but widely decent numbers put up for him playing on that duelist role. Lightning fast, fantastic debut on this stage, coming out with the Rays was just gorgeous to witness. So
yeah, and the thing is Rays actually didn't have too many kills, but it was really just his movement and like the Des talked about, the way he was creating space, right, for his teammates, and then when needed, he was getting those multi-kills. Rossi, yes, he does overheat still a little bit, but the mechanics are there. He's continuing to prove that it's not like, you know, he has some rust that he has to shake off. It's just a matter of being a little bit more in sync with the rest of the team in terms of positioning and what space you're taking. And now with the type of comps and calls they're making, right, with these, you know, Skyjet duos and Aaron's calling, I think it's starting to come to this really full picture.
Yeah, and I think just considering, again, these players have been here for only a week.
Yes.
It's been a long time since they've, you know, while they've been separated away from everybody else. So a week to come in, get acclimated to a completely new environment, get caught up in what you've been scrimming and prepping and whatnot. I think that this is a good result. I think that there is that you can have high hopes. So I think that if anybody's out there being a doomer about Rossi's performance or a doomer about Lightning Fast or anything like that, just shut the hell up. It's fine.
Yeah,
they're going to be okay.
And again, you have this deep roster. All of them have now played on stage for Global Esports at some point in VCT Pacific, and all of them had their own highlight reels, right, on their map. So clearly the roster is very deep. The potential is there.
Yeah, we'll see how that continues to develop, you know, because obviously Ronsky is still there. They very much want to utilize him, map dependent. So we've been seeing a lot of KO from him. So I'm anticipating things like Haven, Ascent, etc. We're still going to be seeing him involved. So this could be one of the first really big utilizations of a multi-man roster that with the rotations that could end up working. We'll have to just wait and see. It's only one win so far, so there's still plenty more to see. But it's time for our interview here at the end of the series, and we have no one other than SK Rossi, of course, in his debut, after his debut, I should say, to hear from. We'll throw it down to Jen.
Now, thank you, casters, and he is finally here. I'm joined by SK Rossi. Now, congratulations, Rossi, but first things first, how was the first game on stage?
I mean, after lock-in, this was pretty much okay for me. It wasn't pressured or it wasn't that hard, you know. In lock-in, it was like whole new experience for me. I was telling my teammates, it's like, oh, this is nothing then other than normal tournaments. And then I started, you know, getting that vibe of the tournament, and I wasn't comfortable. But now here, I feel like home, so it's fine.
Oh, it feels like home. That's good, that's good. But before the match, though, today, Aaron tweeted, now a big surprise awaits for the fan. And then you tweeted right away, nah, he baiting, right? But I could tell that you guys were all very excited to play together. So what does it mean to you to be able to finally play with the team and also be able to grab the first win together?
I mean, it feels amazing. You know, the first win should have come longer than before. You know, all the games were very close. All the other 5 were putting their 100% to win games, and all the games were very close. But I'm happy we got the win today, and the whole process is like props to the coaches and all the players who made this 7-man roster work. You know, bring in Lightning Fast in a map, bring in me in a map, and giving both of us our comfortable agents and make things work. And first victory should have come earlier, but you know, it's now here. I think we're looking forward to win all the games from here. Yeah, pretty strong.
Well, you talked about how for the past week, it was so far yet so close, right? It was a tough 3 weeks for Global Esports, and you openly expressed how frustrated you were for not being able to be with the team or be there for the team, and practice wasn't really an option for you. So how did you try to stay prepared?
Just by, watching scrims. For a week, I was like kind of demotivated and wasn't involved in practice and stuff. And then later on, I got so many tweets from all the other coaches that, you need to watch the scrims. Don't feel useless. Just watch with the team and learn from it. So I started taking that feedback, and I was watching the game, and I was grinding ranked, and I was listening to my coaches what I should do while I was not playing. It was frustrated because, the season is getting over and 3 games already, and I don't want to miss any other games. But yeah, thankfully, love of God, everything worked out in the end, and shout out to the entire team. We made it happen.
All right, so fast forward, right? You came to Korea with lightning fast, but there was so much to do, and you only had like about 5 days or just about a week to prepare, adjust to the new country, to the new system, and also role swap, etc. So talk to me about the preparation process once you got here.
Once I got here, I got lost twice. Me and Lightning Fast got
At the
lost.
airport?
No,
Oh,
after
okay.
me and Lightning Fast played till night because according to Indian teams, we sleep. So me and him both don't have internet, don't have map, and we got lost, and then somehow, found some free Wi-Fi on the road and just got it to the boot camp. And from the next day, it was all about, the coaches and the players started making us comfortable by giving us our agents or letting us play how we want to play and telling us our mistakes and stuff. So it was all about preparation, I would say, like the team and the coaches, everyone, they just made it happen.
Today was all about the team effort and the teamwork, right? Well, Paper Rex will be the next team you'll play. So are you feeling good about that? Like, how are you feeling?
I don't have good memories with Pepper X. So, I know I'm not alone. We have 6 other team and we have 3 coaches and we have the entire team. We have entire fans behind us. So we're just gonna play our best game and win it out like any other game. It's all about, giving your best on the stage and proving everyone wrong, and feel good about yourself. Whether in the end, it all matters is, did you give your best or not? No, regardless of the result, there's one team should lose, one team should win, It's all about, did you do your 100%? Did you practice 100%? Did you give it your all? That's all it matters. So yeah, we're gonna play our hearts out.
All right, and lastly, any message over to the fans?
Hello, India.
Hello,
GE fighting.
India.
And we got our first win, and all of us are working really hard to get us more wins, and make it to the playoff. We all need your love and support just like this. Don't flame us. We'll try our best, okay? So I love you all, and the team loves you all. So thank you for everything, and the show just beginning. Yeah.
It's just the beginning for GE. All right, thank you very much, SK Rossi. Best of luck in the future, right? Well, you heard that, Victoria. Hello, India.
Hello, India. Indeed, GE ended today fighting hard. And Paper Thin, do you have any words to say?
I have lots of words to say. This was exactly as I, foresaw it happening, and just a good day for me personally. Yeah,
just a regular day for Paper Thin and his predictions.
That's right. That's all that's like care about.
Okay, but look, was there a point though where you were like, wait a second, Talon's coming back?
I took him off. Yes. No, absolutely, dude. I mean, I thought for sure Talon was actually going to turn this around. They were up, a lot of times on this map. They were constantly pushing back, making good adjustments, changing the pace of the game. I thought they played really, really well, but G's just a little bit deeper right now.
Yeah, I think Talon actually had a lot of rounds in the first half that kind of had us a little bit kind of confused. GE didn't quite look together. They had a lot of individual fights, individual duels, but I think there is like an interesting little statistic in the round wins that we actually see a lot of the second round wins being won by Global. Remember there was a round where Talon, right off the first pistol round, Talon forced bot. And then G wasn't happy about that. They forced bot on their pistol round in the second half, and then they won that one as well. So I think GE actually found their momentum somewhere towards the second half, and that's where they started to chain rounds together.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, one thing for sure is that